Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world, whatever time of day it is for you. Hi. It's morning for me, and I just had this would be my second cup of coffee, but it was so good. Hey, Kyla, good morning. Welcome to this week's edition of Coffee Chat with me. I'm Catherine Oster. Oh, good morning, Mom. Wow. Hey, Loretta. Good morning, you guys. Thank you so much for jumping on. So, what I want to chat with you about is one of my favorite questions. What else is possible beyond what I could ever imagine? Universe, show me. Now, I've been asking that question for years, probably for like 8 years, since I very first heard about it in 2014 after I took my first Access Consciousness bars class. You get this question in the bars. What else is possible beyond what I could ever imagine? Universe, show me. And let me tell you, I had a whole day of beyond what I could ever imagine yesterday, and it was so glorious and delicious. So whatever you do, don't ask that question. Don't ever ask it, because it might show up. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my day and how it showed up in a way that I couldn't have even planned it, actually. So a friend of mine asked me to take her to the city for an appointment for yesterday, and she had to be there very early in the morning. So we actually left Tuesday evening, and I had a lot of time there while I was waiting for her and her appointment. I had almost the whole day, actually. And so kind of going into this, I mean, I was aware of this like a few weeks before, and I was like, well, maybe Helena will come, my daughter Helena. That would be cool. She could come with us and hang out, and then it's just Travis and Trace at home and kind of easier for them. And then some other events came up, and Trace and Helena got asked to do the neighbors' chores while they were away on their holiday, and they both said yes. And they got paid very generously from the neighbor for these chores. And so, kind of coming into the week, Helena was going to be gone. It wasn't really fair. Like, she should pay her brother some of her share of the money if he was going to be doing the chores while she came to the city. She didn't really want to do that. She wanted to keep all of her money. So then she decided to stay home so she could do her chores. So then I had the whole day of just me. And I was like, because when Helena was coming, I knew we were going to go to the pool. Maybe we would go even check out the trampoline park. Like, we would do things with Helena. Hey, Colleen. And then she wasn't coming. And I was like, what am I going to choose? So, kind of one of the energies, actually, the first energy or the first thing that came up for me was like, oh my God, I have to spend the whole day in the city. That is going to kind of suck. And then I'm like, whoa, Catherine, what actually is possible here that is beyond what you could ever imagine? Now, it's funny because I was like, there was something I wanted to do in the city, but I couldn't remember what it was. This is where I started. Couldn't remember what it was, but I knew there was something I wanted to do in the city. And I was out doing chores, and oftentimes when I'm like doing things, like the energies just, I kind of ponder these things. And then it popped, and I wanted to float. To float. Good morning, Robert. Good morning, Ruby. And I wanted to float. And I'm like, that's what I wanted to try. I'd seen other people post about it like years ago. Like, this was a while, and I'm like, I want to try that. But I'm never in the city where I kind of have time. I just never chose it. And then when I'm with my family and my kids, I'm kind of like, oh, hey, Carol. I'm kind of like, oh, I don't know if I should choose this. So I never chose it. But this whole day, I wanted to float. So this was on Monday where Helena made her choice that she wasn't coming, and we were leaving Tuesday evening. And Wednesday evening. Yesterday was Thursday. Oh my God, my days. Anyway, so I'm like, I can book this. So I went online and searched places and found a place. And they also offered like hot stone massage. That would be a treat. You know, I see my regular massage gal and she's amazing, but like a hot stone massage. And I've been doing a lot of Pilates, more Pilates lately. So my body was feeling a little bit tight. There was actually an appointment available. I could get like a 30-minute hot stone massage followed by a float. And I was like, that's what I'm choosing. So I booked it. And then there was like, it was so good. So, but this wasn't until like 10:30. So I had some time before and I'm like, what am I gonna do before? So I dropped my friend off at her appointment, took myself out to breakfast, and then I went back to the hotel. Pilates is something that I'm just actively choosing with my body, and it's feeling really great with that actually. So I chose Pilates in our hotel room. I brought all my stuff and there was enough room. I had to modify some exercises, but it was good. Went for the massage and the float, and I was like, and the float was like this most amazing experience. It was like totally surrendering. Nothing, like you're just floating. I don't know how else to describe it. Imagine that. It's called floating and you're floating. And it was just like wow. It was so wow. And yeah, it was just wow. And when I went to pay for my massage and my float, I got $20 off the float for booking them together. So it was only like $130 to float for an hour and for a massage. And I'm like, I felt that was a really good price. I was like, this is really awesome. So then it's like, what's next? I had like, another 3 hours or so. Like, what's next in my day yesterday? I'm all by myself. I'm choosing, this. And when I had driven to the float place, I actually went past a distillery. I saw the wine. Of course, the word wine caught my eye. There was this distillery. And I'm like, I think I'm going to stop there. So I pulled into the distillery and walked in, and the lady was so friendly. And she's like, well, this is what we have, and you can have 4 samples of whatever you would like. So of course I'm sampling some wine. This blueberry wine was so good. It was so good. It was like $8 a bottle, which I thought was really cheap, and it was so good. So I picked up like 6 bottles and found some other goodies, and I went to pay, and she's like, oh, do you like cider? And I'm like, yeah, sure. She's like, here, I'm gonna throw this can in for you to try. Like, okay, that's an amazing gift. And then I got to spin this wheel to win a prize. And then I got like, sorry, no prize. She's like, oh, well, you have a drive home, don't you? And I'm like, yeah, actually I do. And she's like, why don't you just grab a pop there? A pop is on the house. And I'm like, really? And she's like, oh yeah, and there's a bag of popcorn. So she gave me like a free cider, a free pop, and a bag of popcorn. Like, how does it get better than that? There was like all of these gifts. And I'm like, I wondered, like, wow, it just totally blew my mind. And then I'm done that. And I'm like, okay, what's next? That's actually really cool because my brother was also traveling through the city on his way up to visit my parents. And he's like, hey, he called me. He's like, hey, Catherine, you want to meet for lunch? I'm like, sure. So we went out for lunch to the Olive Garden. It was really, really great. And he bought me lunch. And I'm like, wow, how does it get better than this? How does it get better than this? It was like every time I'm still like floating from this day yesterday of just, it was total magic. Another thing is I went to check out Crazy Bins. I was like, what is this place? Anyway, my mom was telling me it's actually a place where Amazon returns. They kind of go there to get rid of them essentially, or just to whatever. Amazon returns. And I found a couple of iPad cases for $1 a piece. And they were like life proof, like really good cases. $1. If you've never been to Crazy Bins, I highly recommend checking it out. But I think you'll be better off to go on a Monday because I hear that's when they restock everything. And I guess you could find some really, really, really good deals there. Anyway, it was an interesting place. Check that out. Went to Costco. It was like a whole day for myself. And I was thinking, I'm like, I've never had a day like this. in a very long time. Not even that I could remember, where I was at a place where I wasn't going to a horse show, taking a riding lesson, facilitating a class, or with my kids or my family, where I'm always kind of getting ready for something, where I had like total choice for the whole day. And it was the most amazing day ever. So I'm like, I will have more of this. So whatever you do not ask what else is possible beyond what I could ever imagine. And what a gift it was for my friend, because she also felt kind of bad for asking me, because she knows that I'm busy and she didn't want to bother me. But she asked me, she needed somebody to take her, and I was like, yeah, of course I'll take you. And she felt so great about me not being bored, me not waiting around for her. It was such a contribution for her to know that I was out, totally enjoying myself. So good. Anyway, I highly recommend it. And let me tell you, I couldn't have like planned this for myself. This was not something I could have like put together cognitively. How it showed up was like the most magical way that I didn't even know was actually showing up. Now it's really interesting because this morning I'm still like reveling in this energy. And with the first foundation class that I took, one of the things we talk about is honoring you, starting to include you in your life. And one of the things that Gary Douglas, the founder of Access, talks about is 1 hour a day and 1 day a week for yourself to choose for you. Now, I started choosing the hour a day. That was a comfortable amount for me. That was something I could handle. But I could never wrap my head around the day a week. Like, what is a day? How can you just take a day just for you? And so I just never really chose it because it didn't make sense to me. And this morning I'm like, oh my God, that's what yesterday was. Yesterday was that whole day for me. For me. And how it has filled me up is totally, I mean, you're getting the energy of it, but there's just no words. And I'm like, that was the day. It has been 8 years since I learned about that 1 hour a day, 1 day a week. I don't know that I would actually choose that. Like, yeah, I'm not going to choose this 1 day every week right now. I mean, something that feels kind of possible though is like maybe once every 4 months. But what else is possible beyond what I could ever imagine? Like, yeah, but just even that whole day. Anyway, that. I'm kind of blathering now. But so what would it be like for you to choose 1 hour a day or 1 full day for you? And what else is possible beyond what you could ever imagine? You keep asking that question. I wonder what magic can show up. So that. So thank you so much for joining me today. Yeah, I wonder what else is possible beyond what you could ever imagine. Tanya, good morning. I'm just leaving now. So, okay, I'll see you guys later. Happy Friday, or whatever day you're watching this. Bye-bye.